Yo, what is going on, guys? LotteryStocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. I apologize for not uploading yesterday, but I did get home a little bit late and I started researching some stuff for another video. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I will upload that tonight as well, so you will get 2 bangers in one day. All I ask you guys to do is hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into some of the AMC stuff. Now, this is probably going to be a relatively quick video, but on Friday we talked about the bank runs occurring with Silvergate and overall the liquidity crisis that is happening behind the scenes. Cathie Wood of ARK sold 99% of her Silvergate SI this week. Silvergate tumbles after FTX implosion prompts $8.1 billion bank run. And shout out to Casey Shaw for posting this on Twitter. He goes, one of the largest power grabs in history was allowed to take place starting in late March of 2021 as positions were unable to be closed daily. Market makers started borrowing insane amounts of money overnight to continue closing positions made daily. The Fed, through the reverse repo lending, stands to make tons of money on institutions who are forced to borrow daily through the Federal Reserve banking system. Without these overnight loans, the market will break. He goes, there's only been 2x since January of 2020 that a vote of settled and accepted amounts did not match. What happens when payments for accepted overnight loans do not get paid? And you can see it right here. 1/5/2023 reverse repo fixed rate overnight loan. The settled amount is $3.6 billion, less than the accepted amount due to unsettled trades. Now, in the event of a failure by a seller to deliver collateral securities to the buyer at the start of a repo, if the parties have agreed when they negotiated their agreement to treat a failure to deliver collateral securities as an event of a default, the buyer could place the seller in default. However, putting a counterparty into default is a very serious step. Before doing so, it is important to be sure that the seller's failure to deliver reflects credit problems and not temporary operational problems, infrastructure frictions, or market liability, which can be beyond the seller's control. So you guys can see right here. You might be asking, LotteryStocks, why isn't phase 6 kicking in? Isn't this supposed to, stop all of these institutions and funds from, being able to borrow so much money and not be charged at a fixed rate? Yeah, they're still paying interest, but the Fed is stepping in and they're 100% complicit. And what's happening is, if it has to do with market liquidity and not credit problems, it's beyond their control, right? So, we're just going to keep lending them money, overnight loans. It is what it is. The contract remains in force, allowing the seller to deliver the collateral securities at any time during the remaining life of the contract. Only if and when delivery eventually takes place, the buyer will pay the seller, but at any time while the failure to deliver continues, the buyer can terminate the contract and the seller be contractually obliged to pay the repo interest accrued up to that point. In other words, the seller will have to pay repo interest even though he will not have the use of the buyer's cash. This means that the seller is charged for failing to deliver and the buyer is recompensated. Now, do you guys remember when the fire destroyed Iron Mountain data warehouse? You can see it was on the 5th of February. And if you come over here, when are corporate tax filings usually deadline dates? That's March 15th. So literally 1 month later. Now you can see Citadel Advisors LLC. And if you scroll down all the way to page 21, you're going to see that the name of entity where their books and records are kept at, Iron Mountain Inc. Now, this is just one big loophole. Undergoing the rules of a repo of a liquid fungible asset. What is a liquid fungible asset? Stocks. Stocks can be considered a liquid fungible asset. Ought to be treated as a secured lending agreement if the repo buyer's right to sell or rehypothecate the asset is limited. In this case, the repo seller would be treated as the tax owner of the asset. By contrast, there is a substantial possibility that a repo buyer of liquid fungible property who has the right to sell or rehypothecate the property could be treated as the owner thereof and the repo treated as the true sale and repurchase. Now you can see down here, this all has to do with rehypothecation and tax exemptions. Is this entire thing just inside jobs to evade taxes, evade ownership, etc., etc.? And by the end of this video, I actually want to play something for you that has to do with Adam Aron, and some people are talking about it on Twitter. I don't think, it's a big thing, but we're in a position right now as AMC shareholders where one side is buying and holding is working, and one side is go with Adam Aron, go with the CEO. I'm still in the middle as well. I just want to point out a couple things. Buying and holding seems to be working one bit, and the only reason I say that is because these overnight loans aren't disappearing. Therefore, if this stopped, the system would break, right? We can assume, Citadel speculation, they're going to go bankrupt. If this system broke, that's it. The market's done, the system's done. AMC's running, right? So buying and holding is essentially cracking these institutions. However, we are on a tight time period. We are on a tight time frame. AMC is down to about $3. It's under $4 right now, so it's in the $3 range a share, and there is that slight amount of time before anything has to be triggered, anything has to happen before AMC can essentially be pushed to bankruptcy and delisted, right? Because the cost of borrow fee rises, it gets lowered, the price still drops, utilization still maxed out. They learned how to manipulate the price. They're hiding shares, whatever, right? We know all of that stuff is happening. This video from Adam Aron is just going to show, he stated, you know, shareholders were actually in vote of dilution, but instead I pulled that, right? I pulled that away, stock ran, whatever. He then comes out, right, posts this video, and he goes, okay, boom, we're diluting now. We're gonna issue APE, and keep in mind, in between both of these happening, shareholders denied his compensation. I'm not making any tinfoil hat theories. I'm just saying for you to watch, learn, listen, drop a comment down below what you think. Also, I'm going to play a clip back to back of this, of just to throw in the video of how corrupt the system really is. Because this entire video is a loophole of how corrupt the US government actually is. And I hope, you know, this stays up on YouTube. Everything that is happening is being exposed on Twitter. This is so far the most free speech I've seen Twitter actually get. Even though there was just leaks of the government, literally government requesting to take down certain things. But I'm just going to continue to ramble if I don't play these clips. So I'm going to play these clips, but before I do that, this revolves around how high AMC stock could go. And remember, I just said buying and holding is, you know, technically working. I don't even think this article is worth reading. I don't even think people's brackets are worth watching per se if it's a long video. Maybe if it's like a 5 to 8 minute video, whatever. The point I'm getting at is when AMC actually runs, when these funds actually break, the entire movement started. The entire MOAS started for the fact that we're not going to sell at low prices, right? If there's only 100 potatoes in supply, we own every potato. We own 100 potatoes, and not one person is selling a potato until $1,000. Then the person that has to buy these potatoes back is going to buy it at $1,000. That's it. So again, guys, I just want to leave one message to you while my computer starts to overheat. Hopefully you guys don't hear that in the background. And it's that buying and holding will get us to whatever price that we want to get to. And essentially, we have to wait for something to ultimately break. If it runs back up to 70, whatever, that's not any sort of big movements in my opinion, and I'm in this till moon or zero.
Well, this is really important, Julie. The shareholders did say no, that they did not want us to issue more common stock. It was last summer, May, June, July. We had it out for a shareholder vote. The vote was split. It was actually running favorable in favor of a stock issuance at the time, but it was my opinion, my decision. I pulled the vote. I pulled the tabulation. I took the question off the table. And the reason I did that back then is while we were winning the vote, it was close, and I didn't think that on something this important, we should do it at a time when the shareholders were not for it in big numbers.
To get Republicans elected.
Going to bring anyone of someone's name.
The gentleman's not recognized.
The gentleman is not recognized.
Members are reminded not to engage in personalities against other members of the House.
Members are reminded not to engage in personalities against other members of the House.
China reported an increase in its gold reserves for a second straight month. We talked about currencies falling. Again, the liquidity crisis. There's just so much pressure buildup within the market. With that being said, the Fed delivered a message to the stock market. Big rallies will prolong pain. The Fed is pretty much saying, if you want the stock market to rally, the pain is going to last a lot longer. Just let the market bottom out. With that being said, the stock market has been trading in this ascending channel here, and we're just waiting for a break to the upside or the downside. Now, this is something that, in my opinion, could play out. Either way, I see us coming down to this zone down here before reaching a new low. This box down here. Now, whether that happens off rip starting next week, or you see something like this play out before we essentially get a drop, I think it's coming. I see it coming, and I'm just waiting. I'm holding on to dry powder until the stock market bottoms. Also, if you're wondering where we got this from, I see the same pattern that played out right here before getting an ultimate smack to the downside, and essentially this is what led to actually the relative lows on the market. That is something we're we're paying attention to going forward. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video or found value out of the video and enjoyed your weekend as well. Again, I am working on another video for you guys. I'm sorry if this video was a little too short, a little too long. I don't even realize how long this video is going to be after editing it and stuff. With that being said, get this to 1,000 likes, share the video, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want up to 15 free stocks and a chance to win $60,000 by using 1 penny, if you find 1 penny in your room, download Moomoo on your phone or computer using my link, deposit that penny into your account, and you're going to get these benefits as long as you open an account and make a deposit. So that is it, guys. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow. Buttery Stocks out.